Do you feel like you don't know what you need to be doing to be continually growing the practice? You do social media, you do newsletters, but then you feel like you're doing all these little tasks and wondering if they're really helping. So this is Chen Yen and saying hello to you from Aruba here. And when you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels, one of the most important things is to look at what is an approach that feels right for you, and then stick with it, being consistent with it. So just because you hear that social media works well, just because you hear that newsletters are great, doesn't necessarily always mean that that is the best approach for you. So first is deciding and uncovering what really is the best approach for you based on your personality and situation in your practice. Then number two is to be very intentional, strategic, and consistent with it. For example, for many of you who are in a place where if you're newer to practice, social media isn't often the best approach. Why? Because, in terms of if you're doing more organic social media, because a lot of social media platforms, it works best when you have more people who are already following you. So when you, let's say you post something on Facebook, did you know that years back when Facebook first was out, you could pretty much post on your Facebook business page and most people would see that. But then in recent years, it's sometimes even as low as 3.5% of people might actually see the post that you do. So with that, if you actually had 100 people who've liked your business page, then maybe 3 might see them at times. Even if we're conservative, saying, okay, maybe 10%, that's still only 10 people seeing it, even though you put all this effort in getting the word out, or hoping to get the word out, but then it doesn't really reach that many people. So social media, many times nowadays, it works best for if you already have a following and a decent sized following, or if you're spending money on ads. There are other ways that are better that actually work to bring in a consistent flow of patients without you feeling like you always need to be putting yourself out there and marketing. And then when it comes to things like newsletters, those can be great to stay connected with your existing patient base or people who are connected with you on your list. But have you ever sent things out feeling like it would be very helpful, but no new patients come from it, or nothing much ever comes of it, and it feels like a lot of work? Because how much time does it actually take for you to create a newsletter? It can take an hour and a half, 2 hours, and 3 hours, and you send it out. You're super excited. You think, hey, I finally got something done to help market my practice. You hit the send button, and then maybe you get responses saying, oh, thank you for sending this, or maybe you don't hear anything at all. And most importantly, you end up actually perhaps not really getting new patients, and that can feel really discouraging. So again, really, when you look at what you're doing, instead of feeling like when you hear something that seems like it will be good and then running around and doing that thing without being strategic, again, first, choose what is most effective for your practice situation and your personality. Number 2 is to be consistent with it and certainly offer value with whatever you're doing. And however, just because you're educating people doesn't always mean they'll end up coming in and becoming patients. So having a way to inspire new patients to come from it as well. So with that, hope that helps. And signing off here from Aruba. For more 6- and 7-figure practice makeover tips, go to introvertedvisionary.com. Again, go to introvertedvisionary.com.